Hey there, in this video, I am going to do some rapid fire teardowns of resumes so that you can see what works and what doesn't work, because recruiters and hiring managers are spending an average of 6 seconds on that initial glance at your resume. But first, in case we haven't met yet, my name is Doody. I'm a user experience designer and entrepreneur, and I also help UX professionals learn how to create a portfolio, prepare for the job search, and be ready to nail it when it comes to the interviews. Ultimately, it's also about learning how to articulate your design decisions so that you're telling people not just what you did, but why you did it. Also, I just want to let you know that all of these people have given me permission to review their resumes. So let's get started. I have not looked at these yet, so this is literally my kind of gut reaction to these resumes. So first up, we have Amy. Initial look here, Amy's is 2 pages. Initial glance, okay, good white space, easy to read. My eye is not overwhelmed. Things that instantly jump out to me. First of all is the fonts. Although the fonts do vary in weight, which helps draw my eye to key sections, I would caution Amy against using such a whimsical, let's say, font. Maybe Amy loves this font, maybe Amy made this font, but when you slightly add too much design to your resume, it could be a slight distraction. So some people would not be bothered with this. Other people might think, oh, I can't stand that font. I would err on the side of caution and keep it simple, because you don't want the font to be a reason that people might think, I'm not gonna look at this one. It sounds insane, but that is reality. So I would just err on the caution and use something a little bit similar. The next thing that jumps out to me is Amy doesn't have a title anywhere. I don't see what she does. I don't see it saying she's a user experience designer or a researcher anywhere kind of at the top. I do see it come into her work experience, but I would really recommend that Amy have, in this top section, something to let us know what she does, because I don't know kind of what she does in the realm of user experience. I see her email. I also don't see where she's located. I don't recommend you put your address on your resume, but I would like to see at least the city you are in. I think that is helpful. Also, this is very nitpicky, but I feel like there could be a little bit more white space or separation between this and the bottom part. You could achieve that with just a horizontal line. That could just help kind of chunk out those sections, for lack of better word. So I also like the 2-column approach. As I've said in the other resume teardowns, this narrower column is easier on our eyes. So education, great. Skills, okay. To me, it seems like there's a little bit of strange spacing here because there's so much space between skills and interaction, and then like this tiny amount of space between these guys. To me, I think you could work on that spacing. I think too, this right column could be a teeny bit narrower so that you give yourself a little bit more space in this left column for your bullet points and things like that. And you're going to need that space because I'm going to tell you to bump up the font size of all your little bullet points here. But then we get into your work experience, and kind of our litmus test is the title, is the location of the job, is the company, or the dates of the employment. Super easy to pull out. And right now, the only thing that's really just jumping out is job title, job title. I'm now realizing that this is a company name, this is a company name, and she kind of progressed in that role here. But the other issue is the dates are getting lost because they're down there, and the location is getting lost as well. So Amy, if you made this right-hand column smaller, you would have a wider left column to then be able to pull your dates up to the other line, and that would be helpful. Another thing you could consider, although I don't think you need to, I'm just going to throw it out as a suggestion to everyone. I see why you've probably made the top of your hierarchy the company so you can nest your different jobs in there. I don't think it's the end of the world if you had your company name kind of like down here, and I think people would still notice that you were at the same company twice, but I can see maybe in this case why you decided to do it this way. But good job. You're the first person that's done this at making your bullet points legible. So because Amy has good spacing between her bullet points, and by that I mean this right there, that makes it a lot easier to read. If we go back to another one, like this one, these bullet points just like roll together. They're all kind of shoved together. There's no spacing. So can you see the difference between this one and this one? Yes, you can. Then we see the rest of Amy's resume. Okay, she's got tools, industry knowledge. Yeah. I think something too that's jumping out to me is the company name and your title, because they're both larger and because they're both a little bolder, they seem to be almost competing. I would challenge you to figure out, like, how can you really hone in on this information and do it in a way so that it doesn't feel like it's competing. And go back to my video, the 6 key pieces of information on your resume, because that's going to give you some ideas of how to do that. Okay, moving on. Benjamin. Okay. First glance here, good white space. His title is standing out. I know what he does. UI/UX. There are key sections of education, work experience, and skill and professional development. So I think this is 80% of the way done. Some small improvements that I might consider making are, I don't know where you're from, so you might want to add that as an item at the top somewhere. Do you need to write out these URLs? No one's going to type that in, but if instead, could you just use the words like LinkedIn, GitHub, Dribble, etc.? Because this just looks kind of like garbled. I know that's not a technical design term, but like it would just look cleaner if it just said LinkedIn, GitHub, Dribble, and then their links, because no one's going to type those in. So therefore, they don't need to see the whole URL. Okay, moving on to the bulk of your resume though. So education, skill, professional development down the left, columned out. I like it. I'm going to give you the same feedback I just gave to the previous person, Amy. I think this column could be on the left, could be a little smaller, so you give more space to the column at the right. The challenge right now is everything that is black and bolded seems to be a little bit competing. So I would think to yourself, like, are you using consistent font sizes? And it could be the PDF. I don't know. This looks like something's weird with this. This just looks a little different than these two. So think about that. Skill. Okay. Those are all grouped out. You should put spacing between like this, put spacing above here, because these all just kind of run together like a big blob. And if they had spacing, it'd be easier to read. Work experience though, that's where people really want to focus on. So is the title, the date, the company, etc. Are all those pieces of information standing out? And the answer is date is getting lost, because date is in this light font in the middle of this information. So if you make this left-hand column shorter, make the right-hand column wider, you're going to give yourself the space to put your date or other information on the top line. Therefore, it's going to be a lot easier to read. The other thing is, I would put your title first. No one knows what Sing-Along app is, Junyi Academy is, HTC. Instead, I would rather see your title and then tell us the company. And then don't forget, we need to know a little bit more about this company. So have a company summary or something. Go back to my 6 key pieces of information for your resume video, because that's going to give you the information that should appear in each one of these little kind of job modules, if you will. Also, I think you wanted to make this 1 page. I don't think it needs to be 1 page. So adding that extra information won't be the end of the world if it becomes 2 pages. Okay, next one is Maria. Okay, first glance here. Let me take it all in. Okay, this might be the best one I've looked at all day. The reason is it's simple. It has a lot of white space. She's used these very elegant horizontal and vertical lines to kind of zone it out. Let me know where each section is. I am not struggling to find any information. My eye is not overwhelmed. I would give this like an A+++++. We've got, she's a UX UI designer. I don't know where she's from. I guess that's the one thing. Where are you from? Don't need to put your address though. Okay. Summary, skills, tools, language, education, great, experience. The one recommendation I would make to Maria is, can you take one of these pieces of information and move it up on this line by right aligning some piece of information over here, like the date or something. To me, that's going to just make it a little easier to skim, scan, read, because you've got 3 important data points on this line and it could get lost, but you are like 99% of the way there. Awesome job, Maria. Okay, last one is Summa. Okay, looking at this, I think Summa's is 2. Yeah. Okay, looking at this, initial gut reaction. Okay. There's a lot of information. It's hard to read. This top section is hard to read as well. Second page. Okay, the blue is almost being overused. So let's break this down and let's zoom in to read it a little bit easier. So, okay. First of all, top section. As I said about one of the previous ones, if you're going to make these links, I don't think you need to put like the whole URL. I would just rather this say LinkedIn. Your email, of course, listed out, but LinkedIn or your Dribble or whatever. Look into the light. I don't even know what that is. Is that one of the projects you've worked on? I'm not sure. I also don't see a title. So what are you? Are you UX designer or researcher, or UX designer and researcher? I don't know. Also, location is nowhere to be found. Phone number, no phone number. Okay. Next, hard skills. I'm guessing you have put a lot of this just in hopes of being like keyword friendly and stuff. It's really weird how sometimes you have, so you've got hard skills and soft skills with the black. Then you've got blue relating to the next level of the hierarchy. Then you've got these caret things. Yeah. This is a lot of, my eye is just getting confused and I don't know why blue's used. To be honest, I would do like hard skills, soft skills, make UX and project management maybe like bold and black or something. And these carets, they're overwhelmed. Like I would just maybe not have any bullets because I don't think you need them. These all fit on one line. I would get rid of that. Like, why don't these ones have bullets? You know what I mean? But let's pay attention over here. Okay, good job at 2 columns. I'm a fan of 2 columns. Relevant experience. Okay, so we've got the title, date. Okay, great. I can instantly see like the key information. What I'm not sure about is company name and location. So looks like some of them do, like TVO Toronto, Ontario. That has that. Okay, great. So what's missing here is, I don't know what Genui is. So I need some type of understanding, because that's going to tell me, like, was it a health startup or was it a big Fortune 500 company that I've never heard of? See, same thing, TV Ontario, TVO. I know it's TV Ontario because I'm from Ottawa, but most people won't know that. So can you tell us a little bit more about TVO in like 1 or 2 sentences? Now you're telling us kind of what you did here. Looks like some type of outcome or award or result. I think these double arrows are overkill. I would just rather see a circle bullet. It's just one of those nuances that just feels like it's making this a little more heavy on my eye than it really needs to be. Also, I might add a teeny bit more space between like the top of this one and the bottom of this one. Okay. Let's see. I wouldn't be afraid to have this be 2 columns if you need to, so that, I don't know how to get back, so that these can have more breathing space. So just keep that in mind. Okay, next one. Whoa, we zoomed in quite a lot. Zooming out. Last one. Okay, so Liberty. Let me take it all in here. It's 1 page. Okay, so first of all, top section is very clear. I've got the Liberty is a UX designer and I see all the key information. She's got a website and an email and a phone and a this, and she links over. See, it's so much cleaner when you just give a link to those things instead of writing out your LinkedIn URL. Like, the only reason you would write out the URL is if someone needed to see it in order to type it in, but no one's going to sit there and type it in. They're going to click it right from here. So good job on that, Liberty. Skills. Okay, so Liberty's resume at a glance has all of the right information, but it's hard to read, even though it's 1 page and even though there's white space. Because everything is very, very wide in 1 column, it's hard on my eye. And like, I just get overwhelmed and I might look at it, but I think Liberty, you could transform this very quickly if you made it 2 columns, and go back and watch all the other videos I just did. But 2 columns to me makes it a lot more readable and a lot more scannable. That way, I think some of the other information like skills could be the first thing in your column. That way you're bringing up this other information higher on the page. So the other thing that you might want to consider is, let's see, recent work experience. So we've got manager, spare foot, now storable, and the date there. Okay, great. Go back and just read that or watch that other video where I talk about why it's important to talk about the company, because I don't know what spare foot, I don't know what that is. And it could be a company of 2 people that like is in your neighborhood, or it could be a company of 5,000 people. I have no idea. I need that context. Then you've got your experience, education, achievements. Okay, great. Make it 2 columns. The other thing I think might be something to consider is you're using bold within the bullet points, which is good, but it's competing with these bolds of your job titles. So instead, I would challenge you, can these job titles be like black or darker gray? And these other ones are as they are now or something? It just seems like they're competing with your job titles. So I'll let you play around with how you solve that problem. But that is all I have time for right now. I hope that these resume reviews were super helpful and gave you some actionable things you can do to transform your resume. So do me a favor. If you found this helpful, let me know, because that'll let me know if I should do more of this stuff. But also commit to leaving a comment and tell me one change you're going to make to your resume to make it more readable, more scannable, because those hiring managers and recruiters are spending 6 seconds or less at that first pass. And you don't want them to just look at your resume and think, oh, it's too overwhelming, or oh, I can't see where the work experience is, or just kind of like swipe left for some reason that you could have fixed really easily if you thought of the UX of your actual UX resume. So if you found this helpful, leave me a comment and don't forget to share this and subscribe and like it so that other people can transform their resumes as well. And also, so you can let me know that this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon.